Well, we've started 2014 on a cautious note with the market set to close lower today. Now we're joined by Matt Cheslock of Virtu Financial. Matt, to what extent could today's losses be linked to tax-related selling that we might not have seen last year?
Well, it's interesting that you bring it up, and we thought about that might happen at the end of last year since there were so many gains out there. But the problem, I think, was that there was no losses to offset it, or very few losses to offset those gains. So maybe they're going to take the money that they got this year, sell it early, and then be able to use that money the whole year before you have to pay taxes on it. So interesting question. That could be part of it.
And now, obviously, we had a fantastic year last year. What's your broad forecast for 2014? Could we see double-digit gains again, or would that be too optimistic?
I think that's awfully optimistic. You know, coming off a 30% gain, I think a lot of people are calling for a pullback at least to see if they can redeploy their money. But I think most people would be satisfied with 7, 8 to 9% return. I think that would be great coming off a 30% move. So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We have a lot of work to do to get through to see the gains that we saw. But I would take 7 or 8%.
And the tech sector was one of many that suffered today. Many brokers were quite bullish on the tech sector last year. What's your feeling on the outlook for that industry?
Well, you know, one thing, a stock that they talked about toward the end of the year was IBM, and that's always been a tech leader as being the dog of the Dow, the only one that was down for the year. So, you know, if we're not going to see anyone piling into that as the dogs of the Dow theory, you know, into the beginning of the year, maybe the techs will suffer a little bit. The momentum names are suffering a little bit, but those are some of the ones with the biggest gains. So it's not a surprise to see the market be down 120 and those be some of the leaders on the downside.
Thank you, Matt. That was Matt Cheslock of Virtu Financial, and I'm Searle for TheStreet.